That'd be a travesty for my series tracker. And both of them think the other is a moron. Yeah, this is already gonna be a fun month. But I already have a fair amount to start with. But you know what they say about the best laid plans. So, hey y'all, it's Nat. I hope you're having a terrific day today. And for this video, we're gonna be doing my March TBR. Alright, so before we get into anything bookish, make sure to hit like and subscribe down below, and you gotta tell me in the comments what book are you most looking forward to reading this month. I, as per usual, have a way too ambitious TBR, and ironically, I don't know half of the books I'm gonna be reading. Yeah, this is already gonna be a fun month. Last year I participated in March Manga Madness, and I actually ended up really enjoying my time by trying to prioritize this medium that doesn't necessarily always get prioritized on my TBR, and I'm gonna do it again. And once more, I am not really sure what I'm going to be reading. Last year I was already in the middle of a few series and I really tried to make progress in those, but picked up a few random ones. And there is one series I'm currently in the middle of that I do want to try and catch up on. Apart from that, I'm sort of just letting myself pick up random ones that are appealing to me. We'll see how this goes. I might end up accidentally starting like 5 different manga series this month, and that'd be a travesty for my series tracker. Starting at the top is Spy Family by Tatsuya Endo. I love this cozy spy series. It's so much fun. It's one of my favorites. I am actually a few volumes behind right now, so I need to read volume 14 and volume 15. This is a sort of slice of life series, but it does have some action and adventure in which we're following Twilight, who's a spy, and in order to complete his mission, he has to create a fake family. So he adopts a little girl, Anya, who is a telepath, and then meets a woman, Yor, who he asks to become his wife, not knowing that she's actually a trained assassin. And the only person who is aware of everybody's secrets is Anya, the daughter, because obviously she's a telepath. It is so silly. It's so much fun. I love the family dynamic. I love the character work we have gotten to see so far. The last few volumes have really been diving into more action, and there's been more progress with the plot, so I'm really excited to continue on. I'm also looking at possibly starting into Boss Bride Days by 𝗖cie his𝘁𝗰𝘁. This one is available on Kobo Plus, and it sounds kind of also silly but adventure and fun. We're following a woman who is very much a shut-in. She doesn't really care about making friends. She doesn't interact with the outside world all too much. But one day, she happens to save the life of this elderly man who apparently actually has some ties to the Yakuza, and she inadvertently ends up earning herself a spot in his good graces, and her life kind of implodes from there. Based on the cover, it also looks like there's going to be some sort of a romance. I have no clue, but it looks like it's going to be fun, and I'm excited to try it out. I've also got the first volume of Dan from my library by Yukinobu Tatsu. Josh and I watched the first season of this, and while it is very odd, it's also very entertaining. It's following these two students, one of which believes in ghosts and the other who believes in aliens, and both of them think the other is a moron and kind of end up developing a little bit of a friendship. While trying to disprove the other, they both inadvertently end up having weird experiences. It was a wild time as a anime, and I've heard really great things about the manga, so I do want to try reading it first, especially since I feel like there's a fair amount of the manga out already, and I think only the second season for the anime. This is one that I could see myself getting really into it and like blasting through the next few volumes, which thankfully my library does own, but we'll see how that goes. Then I've got Kaiju number 8 by Naoma Matsumoto. I've heard a lot of positive things about this one, so I am intrigued to try it. I believe it's set in a Japan that constantly has these kaiju emerging, and there's like a guy who desperately wants to be on this military force specifically for fighting the kaiju. He sort of gets his wish, but like things definitely do not go to plan from what I've picked up. I don't want to know too much more, but this sounds like it's going to be really entertaining, also a little action filled. And again, I've just heard so many positive things about it that I'm really hoping I will enjoy it too. There are a few other ones that I would love to get from my library, but the first volume of them were not yet available, so I'm on hold, but I already have a fair amount to start with. I would also really enjoy trying out more Junji Ito, but we'll see. Like I said, this is already ambitious just looking at manga alone, and of course I do still have a good few novels to work through with you guys. I'm also going to partake in a few book clubs this month. First up, of course, is my own book club, the Geek Squad. I host it over on my Patreon, and for the first quarter of the year, we have been focusing on reading the Lord of the Rings series, so we are now on to the final The Return of the King by J.R.R. Tolkien. I am so nervous. Like, these books were already not short reads, and this one is the thickest. I actually have been very much enjoying my experience thus far, and though things don't necessarily always move quickly, obviously in this last one the stakes are at their highest, there's so much action, a little bit of heartbreak. I can't wait to officially close this out. Then all of the hosts from the Dungeons and Book Dragons Readathon decided we are going to work together to start a quarterly book club as well. We all nominate one and then we let a spinner wheel decide. So this month we are going to be reading The 𝗖cieះ𝘁𝘁 by Johnny Compton. Or I say this month, the first quarter of the year we're reading this, but our live show is going to be in March. I believe it's going to be March 22nd in the afternoon sometime. I will have information for that linked down below if you are interested. This one I've actually been very intrigued to try out, as we're following this man who is on the run with his 2 young daughters, and he ends up becoming a caretaker for what is known as the most haunted house in the town, which that right there has me so intrigued. I cannot wait. I've heard pretty good things about this one across the board, and it's not very long, meaning it'll be a very fast read, I'm hoping. Really excited to talk about this book with everybody else. Like I said, I'll also have a link to the Discord down below. I've got a few other ones lined up. First up being the next in my Star Wars canon project. I have been waiting for the hold on this for so long, and it finally came in. This is actually a Bad Batch novel, 𝗖cie by Lamar Gills. So Bad Batch is obviously the TV show following this group of experimental clones who survived Order 66, I guess is the least spoilery way I can put it. But this is following the team as they are trying to go on some sort of a mission to save the island that they have settled on. But of course, like any adventure, things are not going to be easy and everything goes awry pretty fast. It honestly sounds like this is just an additional arc that didn't get animated and instead got turned into a novel, and seeing as how I love this little found family, I am all over it. I cannot wait. I'm really excited. I'm also planning to finally pick up The Staircase in the Woods by Chuck Wendig. I think this was on a TBR like last October and it just did not happen, but I've still been eyeing this one. I have it set up for a video and I'm really hoping I'm gonna enjoy this. The last Chuck Wendig book I read was The Book of Accidents, and it was a very interesting story, and this one also is a very interesting setup, both going a little sci-fi-ish, and I do enjoy sci-fi horror, so I'm very excited. Though the setup does sound really reminiscent of like It's following this group of kids who used to all hang out and like go in the woods. There was this random staircase in the woods, and one day one of the friends goes up it and like disappears. Now it's 10 years later. I think the staircase reappears, or like their friend reappears, and they all have to figure out what's happening or what happened to him. I heard a lot of people talking about this when it came out, but I don't think I've really seen anybody read and review it. So there's not really too much else coloring my expectations. And like I said, I'm really hoping I will enjoy it. Not just because it's a sci-fi horror, but also because this is a Evernight book box edition version, and these are always very pretty, and I like to be able to display them. For the most part, Evernight has not steered me wrong, so I'm hoping I will love this. Finally is one that has been hanging out on my shelves for so freaking long, and I'm finally gonna get around to reading it, though I am truly unsure of how this is gonna go. Spells for Forgetting by Adrienne Young. This one is, I think, this author's first adult work. I read some of her YA stuff and I liked it, but it wasn't my favorite. This one, though, does seem a little bit more up my alley. It's a mystery that I think has like some magical realism to it, where this woman goes back to her hometown, I believe trying to solve the disappearance of her best friend from when she was a kid, and I think starts to develop a romantic relationship with the guy that most of the town believes is responsible for whatever happened to her friend. I think it's like her friend's ex-boyfriend or something like that. I've heard mixed things on this one, but like the setup of it does seem like something I would enjoy. All right, and on that note, that is officially it. So like I said, this is fairly ambitious already. I feel like I'm going to be doing a lot of audiobook listening for my novels and then trying to dedicate as much of my eyeball reading time to manga this month. But you know what they say about the best laid plans, so we'll see how that actually goes. On that note, that's officially it for today, y'all. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. I really appreciate it. Make sure to hit like and subscribe down below. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, let's leave like the little, I don't know how to describe it other than like the manga mad emoji. I'll pop that up right here. Let's leave this in the comments down below if you made it all the way to the end. I have links to all of my socials, as well as a few ways you can support me down in the description. I come out with videos on Monday and Friday, but until then, I hope you continue to have a terrific day. Love you, bye!